Do you have body dysmorphia? Let's talk about it. I'm Nate. I'm the FitFutureMD. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Pick up that free copy of the nutrition and health guide, the nutrition and workout guide in the description below if you're interested in getting healthy. I'm the owner of Ensorsale. Ensorsale is family. Together we will rise up from humble beginnings to inspire others all over the world with the messages on our t-shirts. Wear your inspiration today. Be a difference maker today. Stop seeing negativity all over the place. Replace all that with positivity so that you can rise up in this world and become a better person, become a better man, become a better woman, become a better husband, become a better wife, become a better parent, and really just level up your life. That's what Ensorsale is about. That's why we give away free health and nutrition guide. That's why we give away free affirmations to help your mindset. That's why we give away free investing, a free investing guide to help you get your money right? So that's what Ensorsale is about, rising up. Go to Ensorsale.com, pick you up an inspirational t-shirt today. Use code FitFutureMD for 20% off. So my father used to call me Mr. Big, right, when I was a young man. And the reason he called me Mr. Big is because I would go around flexing everywhere, right? And still to this day, every day at night, I flex in a mirror, right? And the reason I do that is probably because of body dysmorphia, right? Now, body dysmorphia is where you actually see something different in the mirror than what you actually look like, right? So you see this in many different disease states, but just regular body dysmorphia may not be to a level that actually causes you problems, right? So, if it doesn't bleed into bulimia, anorexia, or even bigorexia, some people, have the opposite problem, right? They want to be bigger in areas that don't need to be bigger, or, they can't see that, they have issues with the other way, right? So this is where I kind of realized that I had body dysmorphia. I'm sitting here, I'm full bulk, 315 pounds. And the lady at the gym points to this guy and says, "Hey, is that your brother? Y'all look so much alike." And I'm just taken back because I look over at this guy, and this guy's like an old 350, 400 pound person. And I'm just, oh my God, y'all think we're related or twins, right? She called us a twin, right? "Is that your twin over there?" I was like, "What you mean?" And that's when like a light went off in my head. I'm like, whoa, we've bulked way too hard. Number one. But, you see this all the time. People say, "Oh, that such and such looks like this actor," or "such and such looks like that actor." And I'm like, that's not even close to what, that's not even close to what they really look like. But all of that is a form of body dysmorphia, right? I didn't perceive in the mirror that I had gotten that big, right? I still felt like I was a 250 pound person, right? When really, in all reality, I was up to 315 pounds and basically all belly, right? But the guy had the same color hair, the same beard pattern, so you could see where they got the reference, but, our heads are completely shaped different. But I did not see myself as that big of a person. And, sometimes you have to have somebody pop a switch in your head so that you realize like, hey, we're going too far with this, right? And, and some things that can be a good thing and some things not, right? If you're trying to reach goals and dreams and stuff and people are telling you that it's not possible, like, obviously you can make it if you have the right information, right? So the biggest thing is get the right information. So that being said, getting the right information. So how do we counteract body dysmorphia? Well, number one, we're going to measure, right? So weight on a scale, measure your biceps, measure your chest, measure your waist, measure your legs, right? And you're going to pick a goal for that to be, right? So if you want 20-inch biceps, and you're sitting at 17, you're going to have to bulk to get up to 20% or 20-inch biceps, right? You're going to have to do something different than you've been doing, right? But if you're already sitting at 20, like, hey, we just need to maintain this 20 while we take other parts of our body down, right? Because, nobody wants a 50-inch waist, right? We want to go all the way down to a 34-inch waist, right? And have the 50-inch chest and the 34-inch waist, right? But when you're sitting there and you got a 50-inch waist and you think you're in the 30s, you can clearly see with the measurements like, hey, nah. You also can see that in like the size of your clothing, right? So for most of my life, I wore an extra large shirt, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting here 2X, 3X, 3Xs are barely fitting. Like you raise your arms and it's like coming up half your stomach. Like obviously, these measurements have not changed on the shirts. The shirts did not shrink, right? You got bigger, right? So you had to, go realize that in your head that, hey, you're heading in the wrong direction here. So this is kind of my thoughts on body dysmorphia. Let's say it really gets into big trouble on the two extreme ends, right? When you start doing dangerous things to get bigger, right? You start taking, crazy drugs to get bigger, or the opposite way, you take crazy drugs to get smaller, right? You start, taking cocaine to get to lose weight, like, and going to the gym 4 or 5 hours a day, right, to lose weight. You start getting into the extremes, right? And this is where body dysmorphia causes a problem. But measuring can pretty much take care of that, right? You want to be this size, right? Hey, I want my body fat percentage to be under 15% for a male, under 25% for a female. And, you can measure that, right? Say, hey, okay, I'm not there yet. Let's make an adjustment, because if you just go by what you see, you may be, let's say when I was 315 pounds, I thought I was small, right? I didn't realize I was 315 pounds until I started measuring. Like, oh, my biceps are 22 inches. Oh, I have a 58-inch chest right now. Oh, my stomach is 54 inches, right? Like you measure that and you say, oh, okay, I'm I'm fat right now, right? So, and obviously that's when I came up with because when you actually realize it's like, oh, well, this is actually like an emergency, right? This is not okay to be this big, right? And to be this fat and be 35, 40% body fat, right? We need to get rid of this as soon as possible, right? So measuring, weighing yourself every day, because you don't want to go the opposite way. You don't want to lose weight too fast either, because you're losing muscle mass, and that muscle mass is hard to get back, right? So, but that may not change, just because you get the numbers may not change what you see in the mirror, right? And being happy with what's on the inside is just as important as what's on the outside, right? Your genetics are your genetics, and unless you take medications to change those genetics, you are going to have those genetics, right? So, there are limitations genetically that you cannot overcome. So, and body dysmorphia, You're seeing so many women right now do fake or breast augmentation. So many women, putting silicone in their lips. You're seeing so many women do, nose jobs, facial reconstruction, BBLs, right? And the crazy thing is that the platforms are rewarding them for doing this, and all that is a form of body dysmorphia. And to me, that's when you get to the body dysmorphia that's a problem, right? You start having dangerous surgeries to change something on your body. That's when you got body dysmorphia, right? And don't get me wrong, the reason we have genetic diversity is for the survival of the species, right? If everyone had a small nose when you got into nature to survive, and that small nose didn't help you survive, you would die, right? And your bloodline would die, right? So, keep that in mind. There's a reason why people have bigger noses and smaller noses, and that kind of thing. Like, and yeah, it might make you feel better to change what your nose looks like, but the simple fact is, it's a form of body dysmorphia, right? To have a radical surgery to change it, now if there's like some kind of medical reason to change it, right? Your septum's deviated where you can't breathe, and you're having heart issues because you can't breathe at night, you're wearing the CPAP machine and all that kind of stuff, then you have a reason to, there's enough evidence to say, hey, we need to have some kind of medical intervention here, so that I can live longer, right? The risk outweighs the reward outweighs the risk, right? But if you're just changing it just to change it, that's body dysmorphia, in my opinion, right? But, I digress on that. Like I say, I'm more talking about in this video about what you see in the mirror and it not being what is actuality. And you change that by measuring, right? So if you're sitting there and you're 8% body fat and the weight on the scale says that you are 10 pounds overweight, but you're measuring with calipers and you see that you're 8% body fat, that you are a healthy weight, even though by BMI you might be overweight, right? Because you're 8% body fat, right? That how you look is pretty much the best you will look, right? So you thinking you are fat at 8% body fat, that's body dysmorphia, right? That's not true. You figure out what is truth, right? So these are my opinions on body dysmorphia, what I do for my body dysmorphia, right? Like, I'm measuring, and I'm Nate, I'm the FitFutureMD. Obviously, if you have true body dysmorphia, make sure you're getting help for that, right? Like so if you're sitting there at 8% body fat and you think that you are too fat, right? You need to get medical help for that, right? If you are sitting at 350 pounds and you think you're too small, you need to get medical help for that, right? That's something you need to talk to somebody about it, right? So keep that in mind. I'm Nate, I'm the FitFutureMD. Shop at Ensorsale.com. Be a difference maker today in your community. Use code FitFutureMD for 20% off, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.